Hey everyone, Daniel here with a review of the newest film from Marvel Studios and what will probably be the biggest film of our lifetime, Avengers Endgame. So reviewing this movie is going to pose a bit of a challenge because I don't want to give anything away, and I feel like any little thing that I say could possibly come off as a spoiler, so I'm going to try to be as vague as humanly possible. So basically, I think you can already put together that this movie is about our heroes trying to stop Thanos and try to undo everything that he did from Avengers Infinity War. Ravioli. No, bad dog. The story can get kind of messy and muddled. I think it's a little bit all over the place. I mean, it's not really focused, but it's still, you could still tell what they're trying to do and what's going on. Some people might get confused. It is kind of confusing, like the logic behind what they're doing is kind of weird and may not make any sense, but it was still pretty good and satisfying overall. The actors in this movie do a really good job, and they're very convincing in their roles. Everyone gives a very great emotional performance. Everyone has their own little personal moments. Everyone has their time in the sun in this movie, and it's just great. Sometimes, though, the moment can get ruined. They try to go for one emotion, and instead you'll feel something else, and it'll seem kind of, instead of sad, it'll be cheesy, and you'll want to laugh, and it's weird. I didn't want to feel that way, but there was a scene or two in the movie that made me feel that way, but it didn't ruin the movie overall. The movie is a lot of fun and it's very exciting. There are a lot of surprises, of course. There's a lot of crazy scientific jargon that's just gonna fly over everybody's head. It is great to see these characters dynamic and to see them come together after all these years and all these movies. I do feel like no matter how you feel about superhero movies, this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event. Like, I have no idea when we're gonna get another movie like this, where it's just so big and grand and, like, there's, some thought put into it, and it's just kind of special the way they, look back and just bring everyone together. These special effects in the movie are pretty good for the most part. Sometimes there will be a lot going on screen and the effects will look kind of wonky, but it doesn't take away from the whole movie. I feel like it's just little parts here and there. Also, this movie was shot using IMAX cameras, so try to see it in that format if you can, if you have the money to throw towards that, to get that extra little bit of footage. The score by Alan Silvestri is good as always, although I do feel like it doesn't stand out as much in this movie as it did in Infinity War. And I also feel like I liked Avengers Infinity War more as a movie, but this one I think is just bigger, and it's just a lot. It feels like a celebration, really. Sometimes with the effects, it kind of feels like, and although this is probably true, it really feels like, no two actors are in the same place, it's because of the effects. It's like, oh, they just shot, this person this day and this person the other day at this location, and it kind of feels like they're not in the same location, even though that's probably true, and it's not a huge deal, but it does feel kind of obvious. Although there are a lot of great character moments, there aren't any moments where two characters... Oh, scratch that. There are some moments like that where two or even three characters are fighting side by side, but I feel like we could have probably, done with more of those moments, maybe. I don't know if that's asking too much. There are a lot of surprises in this movie. You'll probably feel like you'll know what's gonna happen, but then it just goes in another direction, and it really catches you by surprise. Like, you'll have no idea where this movie is going. There are some characters, not to spoil anything, but there are some characters from past movies that make returns that you weren't expecting, like much smaller characters. I feel like this movie doesn't really build on the MCU, like it doesn't further the plot, it doesn't like tease anything in the future. It really is just a celebration of the past like 11 years of these movies. There are a lot of good moments of fan service. So as for the 3-hour runtime, I feel like the movie does feel long, but at the same time it goes by at a pretty decent pace because you're always interested in what's going on and you're always being entertained or excited. There are a lot of points in this movie that feel like a comedy, like past Marvel movies, and they work really well in this one. There is literally a part in the movie that feels like it's straight from a simulator ride from like Disney. I think there are a couple points in the movie where they reuse a shot, and it's kind of noticeable, but at the same time, it's nothing bad. It's just to communicate what's going on. I would tell you guys to go out and see the movie, but you're all probably going to see it anyway. Overall, I think I would give Avengers Endgame a 5 out of 5. This movie, although it is kind of messy plot-wise, I feel like the characters are very fleshed out and have amazing moments. This movie's very fun and very exciting, and that's really hard to deny. I feel like, you know, superhero movies are like westerns and musicals were in the 50s and the 60s. And these are our big, like, blockbuster spectaculars everyone comes together to go to the theater to see. And these are our big movies right now. And, you kind of have to appreciate that. And just, at the very least study it and, like, just try to understand it. The scope and the scale and, like, everything that these people put into these movies. Although, some people may feel like, superhero movies are a dime a dozen and they're cheap and there's no effort put into them. And sometimes you get a movie like this one where, if it lacks substance, it makes up for it in scale, and I feel like this movie had that. It also had a bit of substance, but like I said, it is kind of messy. But yeah, at the end of the day, I very much enjoyed myself. This movie's very good, very enjoyable, very entertaining, and I feel like everyone will have fun, undeniably. If you don't like one part of the movie, you'll probably like another. The movie is kind of slow at the beginning, but it picks up a lot more as it progresses into the second and third acts. I actually really like the way the movie is structured. It's structured pretty interestingly and pretty surprisingly too. So yeah, that's what I thought of Avengers Endgame. Before I go, I want to do a little PSA. When you guys go out to the movie theater to see this movie, or any movie really, please be kind to the movie theater staff and also your fellow movie viewers. Please don't push and shove and fight. Please don't leave messes. Make the lives of the ushers easier. And just be courteous. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Just be safe, have fun, be courteous, be helpful to your, fellow man and woman. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think and what I can do better in future videos. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Bye.